I'm Matt Reynoldson from the University of Nebraska, and this is my application for the Jim Nance Award from the Sportscasters Talent Agency of America. I've gained a wealth of professional and student experience over the past 3 years at Nebraska, and I'm on track to graduate in May of 2018. I've included samples of my sportscasting in this reel, starting with the call of the Nebraska versus Ohio State game on KRNU. Alongside color commentator Tommy Rezach and replay analyst Zach Penrice, I called the play-by-play action for the Huskers versus the Buckeyes on November 5th, 2016. We picked things up in the second quarter at the Horseshoe, with 6th-ranked Ohio State leading number 10 Nebraska 21-3 with just over 10 minutes left in the first half.
Now Barrett in the shotgun. Mike Weber is single back. He hands it off to Weber. No, he pulls it. Barrett looking deep. He's got Weber alone and overthrows him again. Barrett has had trouble with overthrows. Mike Weber took out a cameraman down on the far sideline. But J.T. Barrett just missed a wide-open Mike Weber on a wheel route.
Yeah, wheel route on the left side going down the far sideline. I don't know where the heck Josh Kalu, Nate Gary was on that play. I mean, they obviously caught the black shirts off guard, and they catch another break. That's about the third obvious missed deep ball by J.T. Barrett, and that one would have been 6 points, no doubt about it.
It has not come back to bite the Buckeyes yet. Up 18 here in the second quarter. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Hands it off to Weber now, and he is wrestled down after a gain of just 2. But the Buckeyes are in the red zone, and they'll have 3rd and 8.
And Friedemann and Maladun that time coming off of his blocks. We've seen him struggle at that defensive end spot a little bit in this game, struggling to come off blocks, struggling to come off the edge and provide pressure, but that time able to sniff out the run play for minimal gain. Another 3rd and fairly long here. It'll be 8 yards for Ohio State. Another chance for the black shirts to get off the field and at least make Ohio State settle for 3.
So this so far has not quite lived up to the top 10 billing of this matchup. Ohio State up 21-3 early in the second quarter. Now Barrett in the shotgun. Weber is a single back. Barrett looking to throw. He's got a man across the middle. He's got him. It is Paris Campbell, and a flag has been thrown. I believe that's in the direction of Kyron Williams, and they might get him for interference. Josh Banderas was on the coverage of Samuel across the middle, and they called defensive holding on number 26, Kyron Williams. They called him on that on the deep route. Was not involved in the original catch, but that's a 10-yard penalty, and Ohio State will get another first down.
Yeah, third downs have been no obstacle for the Buckeyes tonight. They're 4 for 4 on them now, and pretty simple crossing route by Samuel. Again, the Huskers applied a little bit of pressure there to Barrett, made him flush out of the pocket, but Husker penalty keeps the drive alive.
Now Ohio State with 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. They'll move the chains to about the 1-yard line, as that will be the first down marker. 9:15 to go in the second quarter. Ohio State leads number 10 Nebraska 21-3 here in the Horseshoe. Now Barrett in the shotgun. Mike Weber is a single back. 2 split out to the left. Barrett hands it off to Weber. Looked like he was going to pull it, and Weber is swallowed up on the delayed handoff.
Nice job by Nebraska to kind of predict the run play and swallowed it up quickly.
You saw Barrett hesitate on the handoff right there, which led to Maurice getting in there with Dedrick Young on the stop. So now Barrett is in the shotgun. Weber to the single back. Barrett rolling out to his right, looking for the end zone. He just throws it away. Josh Banderas was in pursuit, and J.T. Barrett did not want to risk anything right there.
Yeah, it was kind of a designed rollout to his right, and had pretty good protection on that right side. The offensive line was holding well. You saw defenders in his face, didn't see anybody open in the end zone, so kind of throws it downfield. Talk a little bit about hesitation. J.T. Barrett just kind of stopped his steps for a little bit and had really no other option but to throw it away. So again, the Huskers a chance to come up with some kind of stop here on 3rd down.
The official reassures us that it is not intentional grounding, as Barrett was outside the tackle box when he threw it away. So Barrett in the shotgun, Weber right behind him. Fakes the handoff to Weber, looking to his left. He's got Curtis Samuel over there, and it's caught. That is Paris Campbell on the left side, and they'll call it incomplete. It looked like a touchdown over there, but they will call it incomplete. The bobble by Paris Campbell takes 6 off the board for Ohio State.
Yeah, not a bad thrown ball over there towards Campbell, and I thought he kept his feet in bounds. He did bobble it. He did get 1 foot down in bounds. He didn't lose control of the ball entirely. You see Josh Kalu on the one-on-one coverage. The ball just sailed right past Kalu's hands. And then after that, it was in the hands of the receiver with the incompletion. And now we might have some kind of review.
Looks like they will review the call.
Yeah, that one was really close, guys. He looked like he might have gotten a foot down. But the fact that they called it incomplete on the field may make it so they won't overturn it. That is extremely close as they continue to show it on the big screen here, Ohio State fans initially reacted positively, but as they show it more and more, it's just inconclusive. You just can't tell, and they're showing it from the best possible angle, and he's bobbling it in the. It seems like he has it right there.
Yeah, what they're looking at, the ball was in and out of his hands. What they want to see is if he had control of the ball and 1 foot in bounds before he walks out of bounds. And it's really hard to tell if he fully secured that ball in his hands and had a foot in bounds. That's kind of the big question right now.
Could go either way at this point because it was ruled not a touchdown on the field. It looked
Exactly.
like he may have bobbled it at the end of the play. He is securing the ball to his chest, and it moves a little bit once it reaches his chest. So this one could still go either way, but would be a very justifiable call if it is indeed a touchdown for the Buckeyes.
And that's the reason why they may not call it a touchdown, is because on the field they called it incomplete, and I think if on the field they call that a touchdown, it would stand, but it makes it a lot more difficult for the officials here for the fact that they did call it an incomplete ball on the field, but we'll hear his decision now.
Call stands, which means there was not conclusive video evidence to show a touchdown. The ball did move a little bit when he secured it to his chest, so that is no touchdown. JT Barrett has one taken off the board.
Yeah, and that's one of the situations that you see a lot oftentimes in football. See, they didn't say that the call is confirmed. They say that the call stands, and so that's just a great telltale sign that there was just inconclusive evidence from the video that they showed.
So now snap is down for Tyler Durbin, and that one is through the uprights. So Ohio State takes a 3-touchdown lead. It is 24-3 Buckeyes with 8:22 left to go in the first half. You're listening to College Football on 90.3 KRNU.
Sticking with the chronological theme of this reel, we'll now move on to late November for a basketball game between Nebraska and Louisiana Tech. Along with my color commentator Tommy Rezach, we picked things up with the Huskers leading 29-24 with 2:40 to go in the first half.
Lincoln, Nebraska versus Louisiana Tech basketball on a Saturday night here in Lincoln. It's the first cold day of the year, but not too bad. We were able to sit through an 11 a.m. football game this morning where Nebraska football was able to dominate Maryland. And so Nebraska up 5 on Louisiana Tech in the early goings here in Lincoln. 2:40 to go in the first half. It's Huskers 29, Bulldogs 24. And this is a very confident and talented Louisiana Tech team. Third in the Conference USA last year, 23-10 last year, and did go into Columbus, Ohio, and pull off a win in 2015. And so this is a tough team and looking to put up a fight against Nebraska here as they go down the stretch. So Louisiana Tech now in the half court with the ball, and Derek Jean threw it away. He was looking for Kedar Davis, didn't have him, and threw it at his feet. And that's another turnover for Louisiana Tech, number 8 here in the ballgame.
Yeah, Davis was open over there in the left wing, but that bounce pass, just a little too much muster on it. Bounced just straight past him, straight through his hands, and another turnover. But Nebraska still only 2 points off of those mistakes. I'll be interested to see if they're able to respond.
Looked more like a 4-square pass than a basketball pass. Now Jariah Horn, the true freshman in the ballgame for the first time for the Huskers, and Ty Webster tried to drive in. It looked like he hooked around him, but no call there, and they will get Derek Jean on the foul, who was trying to block Ty Webster's layup.
Yeah, those two guards, Jean 6'2", Webster 6'4". Interesting matchup there, those two fighting down by the basket. Nice job by Webster to draw the contact, and 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. And now he's no longer perfect. I guess I jinxed it for him, but still pretty solid night for Webster. 14 points, 3 rebounds.
My cohort, Tommy Rezach, has never been one to knock on wood. Ty Webster for the second one and 6 the second one. So he's 5 of 6 from the line tonight. Huskers lead back up to 6 points, 30-24, 2:07 to go in the first half.
I don't know what data you draw that conclusion from.
You are not a very superstitious person. Seem more the realist type. As McCree is driving in, and they'll call a travel on McCree. He jump-stepped and then he jump-stopped, but then took a step too far. They'll call McCree, who was surrounded by Huskers, for the travel right there. That'll be the 9th turnover for Louisiana Tech in this first half. Nebraska will get the ball back.
A very similar game, Matt. Both these teams, 35% from the floor, 33% from long range, but 2 things separate these teams. Free throws, Nebraska's made 5 more of those, and now turnovers, Nebraska on the +3 side.
Jariah Horn, the sharpshooter, tries one, and Nebraska cannot buy a bucket in the later going. They're now shooting 30% from 3. They're having a lot of trouble from beyond the arc.
One of their last 5 from the floor.
Kedar Davis has been unusually sharp from 3 in this game. Now trying to drive in, loses that one out of bounds, and looked like it went off Jack McVay, but they'll call it off Davis, and that's the 10th turnover for Louisiana Tech. Double-digit turnovers in this first half, only 6 assists, and that is not a good ratio.
Yeah, 2 turnovers for La Tech in the last 29 seconds now. So, yeah, just a lot of missed opportunities for Louisiana Tech in this game, no question.
Nebraska also seeing a poor assist-to-turnover ratio, 2 assists to 6 turnovers, but they have been able to hit some nice driving shots, some nice three-point shots, and that'll be another foul on Louisiana Tech. I believe they'll call it on Daquan Bracey.
And by the way, Davis, Kedar Davis, 4 fouls already. Oh, no, excuse me, 4 turnovers. That's what it is.
One would think Eric Conkle would have him out of the game, and as Ty Webster hits his 6th free throw of the ball game, he is leading all scorers with 15 points. So Ty Webster is going nuts so far in this game. 16 points in this early going. He's 6 of 7 from the charity stripe, 4 for 7 from the field, and 2 for 3 from three-point land. As he now has 17 points in the first half, and he has 17 points to Louisiana Tech's 10 turnovers, and that is the story of the game right there thus far.
Yeah, 5 of Nebraska's 6 turnovers have come from Webster, but he's more than made up for it.
Boykin's trying to make something work. Here's Harris trying to drive in. Jalen Harris, the talented true freshman. Now Powell trying to work on Jacobson. Didn't have anything. Now trying to work it around in the corner. Looked like Harris stepped on the line, but they won't call it. And Harris, nice drive into the lane over Michael Jacobson. Gets the layup right there. And Jalen Harris tiptoeing the sideline, able to get into the lane for the layup. That's a nice play from the true freshman. Looking like a veteran move.
Yeah, Harris's first points of the night. And now we have 6 different Louisiana Tech players that have scored. Louisiana Tech was 7 bench points compared to only 2 by Nebraska.
The most surprising stat thus far, Glenn Watson Jr., 0 of 5 from the field, and so not having a good game statistically, but he has been running the point effectively for the Huskers. Now we're under a minute to go in the first half, of 40 seconds to be exact, as the Huskers lead 32-26 over Louisiana Tech. Evan Taylor trying to drive in, lost the ball, saved it, did not save it. That one is out of bounds, and Evan Taylor trying to do too much with it. They'll give the ball back to Louisiana Tech. 32.1 seconds to go in the first half and a 30-second shot clock. So if Louisiana Tech plays their cards right, Nebraska will have very little time to get a shot off at the end of this.
Yeah, just kind of a freshman's mistake there by Evan Taylor, but a costly one at that, because if La Tech sinks a shot, it goes from a 3-score game to a 2-score game.
And almost another turnover on Louisiana Tech, but they'll call it out of bounds on Glenn Watson. Went off his foot. Eric Conkle will call a timeout, looking to talk it over with 24.5 seconds to go. Huskers leading 32-26. And what do you draw up here if you're Eric Conkle?
I don't know. If you're Louisiana Tech, it seems like driving inside, driving baseline's been working well for them. That's where they've been able to draw the most Nebraska fouls. So I would say down only 6, as much as you want to go for the 3 and cut the lead in half, I think go for a 2-point basket here. Make it a 4-point game. Kind of slowly creep your way back into this thing. So Nebraska hasn't scored the last 3 minutes. So, yeah, any points Louisiana Tech can get here and just keep chipping away at that lead, get in their head a little bit and say, hey, we're not dying. We haven't led for quite a while. Nebraska's been in the lead for most of the time. But I'd take a 2-point shot by the basket is what I'd draw up.
Louisiana Tech, a talented team trying to climb back in this. Now Derek Jean has it out on the wing. Here's Harris trying to get it over to Boykin. McCree now has the ball. Looking at the top of the key, 11 seconds to go on the shot clock. They're trying to get something off here. Great defense by Nebraska thus far. Boykin tries a wild shot, and that's a shot clock violation, I believe. Will they call that a shot clock violation?
They just give Nebraska the ball back.
Confusing sequence of events. So 3-2-1 in the first half. Ty Webster driving in, does not have that shot. And so 32-26, Huskers will be the count at halftime. Nice first half performance from the Big Red, despite only shooting 31% from the field. Some great defense, some great foul shooting, as we have seen. But we go to halftime. Nebraska holding a 6-point lead over the very talented Louisiana Tech Bulldogs here in Pinnacle Bank Arena. We will take a quick break and bring it right back for your halftime college basketball scoreboard. This is Matt Reynoldson and Tommy Rezach. You're listening to College Basketball on 90.3 KRNU.
Finally, we bring it back to Nebraska high school basketball in the District B4 final. Crete star and Air Force football recruit Rhett Harms led his team to a state tournament berth with 14 of his 15 points in the second half, and I caught up with him after the game.
All right, I'm here with player of the game, Rhett Harms, and Rhett, big-time players making big-time plays. You scored 19 last game against Columbus, and now tonight with 15. How were you able to turn it on in the second half?
Just knowing that in order to win, you got to play 4 quarters, and The team, we came out and started playing a lot better the second half and ended up winning. So that was the goal going into it, and it was nice finally executing.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of trouble with that 2-3 zone of Norris in the first half. How were you able to start penetrating on the offensive side of the ball?
They weren't really coming out on us, so at halftime Coach Novak just said we got to get confidence to shoot from the outside to make them spread out, and when we did that, then we could get inside, and it worked really well for us.
Well, Rhett, you're going to state. How does it feel to be able to represent your school at the highest level of high school basketball?
Me and my friends have been dreaming about this since 4th or 5th grade, so it's really nice to finally make some dreams become reality and really represent the community. If you look at just a lot of support out here for the basketball team, and I couldn't be more happy of where I come from.
Well, Rhett Harms, 15 points in the game, 14 points in the second half as we wrap it up here from Lincoln High School in Lincoln, Nebraska. Crete wins the B4 district final 43-36 over Norris. As this is Matt Reynoldson for John Kipper signing off. Have a great night, and thanks for watching News Channel Nebraska.
Thanks for taking the time to listen and watch. Once again, I'm Matt Reynoldson. We'll see you next time.